What's up, y'all? It's your girl Shay, and today we are going to talk about Kandi and the gang. Okay, do y'all think that Patrick and Safari should get married? Do y'all think that Chandrika needs to shut her mouth and anybody owes her anything? Let's get into it, shall we? All right, y'all. Welcome back to my channel. If you don't know who I am Shay Renee, and I talk about everything reality TV related. I know I said in my intro that I talk about food and fitness, but I really don't. It's just reality TV, and we're gonna change that intro at one day. So anyway, let's get into Kandi and her gang. So I didn't review episode 7 because I feel like it was a good episode. Let me not say that anything bad about it. It was a good episode, but basically all they did was talk about Chandrika and her dude June, whether they was going to come to the housewarming or not. And I feel like that was very shady. I think that was all basically Patrick's fault because he should have made sure that she knew that she was not invited. And Torin, I don't know why he hyped that up. He knew that Chandrika was not invited, but he seemed like he still invited her. Dom and Brandon come to the party with Chandrika and June. They end up going inside, but leaving them outside and having Patrick and Safari go outside to do the dirty work to basically tell them that they had to leave, which is very embarrassing ultimately. So that's basically what episode 7 led up to, the housewarming. Which, by the way, why the hell you ain't had no chairs for them old ladies to sit in, or for anybody for that matter? You could have rented some fold-up chairs for people to sit down. That's ridiculous. There is no way I would have people over my house in a standing room only session. That just don't make no damn sense. But anyway, they still came over there. It is what it is. So moving right along, Kandi and the Gang, episode 8, X's for lunch. Okay. So this episode starts out with the old lady gang at Mama Joyce's house, and they on some daggone online website, child, making profiles so they can all get a damn date or get laid. I'm like, oh my gosh. These old ladies trying to get smashed. What is going on? Y'all better go in here and make some new recipes for the restaurant. That's what the hell y'all need to do. You don't need to be worrying about no old wrinkly sausage, okay? Knock it off, OLGs. So in the next scene, Dom meets with June and Chandrika to discuss the housewarming. And June explained that he was upset that Dom stayed at the party and didn't come outside and leave with them since they all came together. Which, here's my thing. Chandrika, that's your friend. You should have had that conversation with her. And if you weren't really that irritated about it or it didn't bother you that much, don't send your hound dog fiance after everybody, because that's that's just I wouldn't want to be friends with you, because you're gonna get your boyfriend cussed the fuck out if I was your friend. Because I would have been like, I don't know, you fucking lying. Who the fuck hello? Who are you talking to? Don't speak to me. If I would have been like, Chandrika, do you have a problem with me leaving you outside? Well, no, I didn't have a problem. Okay, well, you shut the fuck up, sir. Don't talk to me. Because what you're not going to do is come for me. And I didn't send for your ass, okay? So you, June Bug, can keep it the fuck over there. Capiche? So Dom was basically like, yeah, you're wrong, because we went inside. My bosses are there. We're already there. And, you didn't see the vibes that was going on in there. So for you to be telling me what I should have did, you don't know what you're talking about, which, Dom, you should have left. You should have went on out there, because that's your girl. Y'all rode together. You wasn't supposed to be there with Brandon anyway. You see, and maybe if you had took your ass on, then they wouldn't have seen Brandon licking and sticking all up on you at the damn party, and y'all acting like y'all not supposed to be together, and you up here looking like you together and not together apart. Okay, so maybe you should have left. That's your karma right there for being trifling. But anyway, moving right along. June also basically makes a statement that he gonna check Torin too, because he feels like he was a part of the situation. And Chandrika says, that he don't play, June don't play about her in her confessional, and that he basically about to come after everybody for her, and she's loving her. Her man is basically defending her, but you want to play in everybody's face and act like you don't really care. But that's because you think that he is Mighty Joe Young and gonna come after everybody for you. So then Dom leaves and says, "Oh, so you just about to be checking all Chandrika's friends?" She was like, "Yeah, you don't need no more drops." I don't know what that meant, but anyway, she hugs Chandrika and leaves out basically with an attitude. So anyway, Dom, whatever. It seems like Dom doesn't know how to she doesn't have good conflict resolution skills, because from how she handled everything in that last scene, it had me really side eyeing the fuck out of her ass. But anyway, moving right along. Now, my mug, guys, shameless plug. If you go onto Instagram under Virtuous Crafts, my friend Latoya Roberts, she makes these mugs. They are absolutely amazing. I had someone on one of my other videos ask me about it, and this is like my favorite mug. It's amazing. All right, y'all. Moving right along. In the next scene, Brian invites Chandrika and Richard to a wig funeral. Apparently, he is burying this wig, child, that he done sliced and diced thrice and thrice, okay? Colored it, tore it up, all that. So he come downstairs dressed in all black like the Omen, and they bury the damn wig, okay? Because it looks a hot-ass mess. So Chandrika says, well, I got to go, guys. I can't stay very long because I'm going on a triple date with Kandi, Todd, Patrick, and Safari, and me and June. So they were like, well, why the hell are you doing that? And she was like, well, Kandi apparently wants us to get along. So she wants us to, wants me to get to know them or whatever. So then they start talking about the situation at the house, and she expressed how she was upset, about the situation. And so, hold on, wait a minute. Brian invites Chandrika and Rashad to a wig funeral. Dom meets with June and Chandrika. Oh, wait, I missed a whole big part, y'all. Let me rewind. So, before we get into the whole discussing the housewarming, okay, June, Chandrika, she's going to check Torin too. Brian invites Chandrika and Rashard outside. Okay, so this is before the funeral. So Chandrika goes outside because June pulls up in the parking lot. And of course, Patrick is working in the parking lot and he's talking to Todd. Okay. So at the they talk about the housewarming, and Todd was just like, you really haven't been acting like yourself. Like you really are like the outgoing guy, like the life of the party, but you haven't really been being like that. So he was like, yeah, well, my girl, I'm just kind of settling down with her. She's bringing out the best in me, blah, 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 whatever. Whipped, whipped, whipped. Anyway, June pulls up in this Benz, okay? So he has to, Patrick makes him pay for parking. So apparently he got $9 on his Cash App and $1 in his pocket. I'm like, what? Why are we paying for it like that? What? And you just bought a Benz for somebody? Okay, whatever. So he's stunting like whoever. And he calls Chandrika outside, and she's like, is this my car? You bought me a car? So she got a Benz. Anyway, moving right along. Everyone comes outside, and Todd is looking like, okay, well, if you mofos are out here, then who the fuck is running my restaurant? What type of unprofessional shit do y'all think we got going on here? So Brandon comes over. He's like, oh, no, Shardo is running the, hostess stand. Mind you, there's a line around the earth of OLG, and there's nobody at the hostess stand because Shardo was right over there being nosy with everybody else with the damn car, because he probably thought Chandrika ass was at the damn front, but she ain't, he ain't, so nobody at the front. Okay, so Todd is like, what the fuck is going on here? Y'all need to get your asses in the damn restaurant and get to work. So eventually everybody goes back to work. And June goes over and approaches Torin, Brian, and Shardo at the table and tells them he's upset that nobody came to Chandrika's defense at the housewarming. So Torin says the guest list changed and he didn't know. And Brian says there's no need for 20 of us to come outside for one person that obviously wasn't invited. And Shardo was like, well, we didn't know. Like, how was I supposed to say anything and express my feelings about something I had no idea about? So I'm like, June, get in this car and buzz off, okay? Because you over here doing the damn most. And if Chandrika had an issue, she should say something to somebody. She was the main one running around here and being Inspector Gadget, asking everybody about some shit that she already said to everybody, talking about Kandi and Todd don't give a damn about the people or the restaurant or whatever. And you didn't know that your ass was on candid camera. So now you worrying about somebody sticking up for you, but you always got some shit to say. Use your mouth to protect yourself, but since you always using it to be a busybody and being everybody's shit. But moving right along, now Chandrika goes to Brian's house. They bury the wig child because, you know, he done sliced and diced and done all this stuff to this wig. So they all sit down, and Chandrika says, that was when she tells them about the triple date with Kandi, Todd, Safari, and Patrick, and her and June. So Torrin asked, why did June approach them like that? And he said he felt some type of way because June approached him and not Chandrika. He was like, I feel like you should have come to me first to tell me if you felt some type of way about, you know, what transpired and not send your boyfriend after me. So she was like, well, I felt nobody came to my aid or whatever. Like, it made me feel some type of way that it's your fault. Like, you basically pushed the idea of me coming to the housewarming, and you should have told me that I was no longer invited. Okay. And Torrin was like, well, I didn't know. Patrick should have told you. And I'm like, you was playing in the damn housewarming. You knew who was invited, and you should have told your friend. That was just really a bad move. So basically, she feels like nobody came to her aid. Brian reiterates that he thinks Sam should have been the one. Dom should have been the one, and she's mad at them, but she needs to be mad at her. So moving right along, everyone arrives at the date with Kandi and Todd. Chandrika and Safari are introduced for the first time. Todd reveals the invite was basically his idea. So Safari says, oh, so this is your idea? And she said she didn't feel like it was needed and there was no beef with them, but she just felt like it's basically an unspoken code for them to not come to the housewarming meeting, Chandrika and June. Okay. Brian Burring Brian Burring that wig took me out. First of all, thank you, D Movie Man, for commenting. Brian is absolutely hilarious. Okay. He makes the show. Let's make this he makes the show. That dude is hilarious. And I cannot wait to see more and more of him week after week. Okay. So thank you so much for commenting. Moving right along back to the scene with the date scene. You know, basically Safari is like, she didn't feel like it was going to be good energy with them. And I'm like, girl, how you know it's going to be good or bad energy with somebody and you don't even know them? Now, granted, I'm not trying to be going out on double dates and hanging out with my exes either. But when you work at a restaurant and you was fucking the damn owner's little cousin, like, you're going to have to get along with him. Like, it's all this tit for tat, yickety yap that you're doing behind his back. It's too much. Okay. So then Safari says she wanted to keep the space positive and she didn't know their energy. And I'm like, you keep on talking about keeping somebody else's space positive that you don't pay no damn bills in, broad. What the hell are you talking about? You want to sage everybody out of his apartment. Get the sage, get the value pack for your house. Don't worry about what's going on in somebody else's house, okay? Yes, he and Bertha are the stars of the show. For yes, his grandmama, absolutely. Because Bertha, I'm trying to tell you, that lady is hilarious. And she ain't got time for nobody's stuff. This is her face permanently. She ain't got time for nobody's bullshit, okay? So moving right along, Kandi says at the end of the day, they all work together and they should be able to be cool and get along. Okay. And Patrick says, now he says to Safari, he turns to her and says, now that you felt Chandrika's energy and you see that she's cool, you know, can we just move forward? And Safari was like, yeah, it's cool. We can move forward. So Chandrika says Safari is cool, but she doesn't want to be friends with any of her ex's girlfriends, which I understand. Y'all don't need to hang out and go get ice cream together. Like, I mean, I wouldn't want to be hanging out with that bird either. So Todd asks Safari what her real name is, and if Safari is her real name, and she says, "No, my real name is Miriam." So Kandi asks, how did June and Chandrika meet? So apparently Chandrika and June met on Tinder, and it initially wasn't supposed to be like a relationship thing. Like they was basically supposed to just smash and pass. Okay. They were supposed to move on, but a month later he ends up proposing to her because he said that Chandrika was basically somebody that always had his, like, she immediately had his back. He didn't have to look over his shoulder with her, and he had never met anybody like her that pretty much had his back the way that she did, and showed him some different things. So I think that they both show like a protective spirit over one another. So that's what kind of bonds them in their relationship. So then the same was posed to Patrick and Safari. And Patrick and Safari said that they met in the DMs, and basically, Patrick tried to say that she DM'd him first, and she was like, "No, I didn't." So they were going back and forth about that. Then all in all, she calls Patrick a trick. She was like, "Yeah, Patrick just seemed like a trick, like, somebody that, you just have sex with and get money from him." And I'm like, "Girl, why are you dating him if you think that he a trick?" Or if you ever thought that, how did you get to this point? Like, it's not making any sense. Did you see pictures of Kandi on his page and think, oh, he got a rich cousin, she must love him, okay, let me trick off on him, let me get some of her trust fund baby money from him? Girl, I don't know about Safari. I think that she speaks before she thinks, and she speaks out of anger. Like she tries to play this whole guarded girl role, and it's not giving. It's giving you're trying it, and we're not buying it. Okay. So moving right along, in the next scene, Shardo, Brian, Torrin, Chandrika, and Dom hang out at Brian's place. And they ask Chandrika about the triple date. She tells them about Safari calling Patrick a trick and being in her inbox for 2 years. And Torrin says they said, asked, did they say why they uninvited her or asked her to leave? And Chandrika said, well, basically Patrick blamed it all on you, Torrin. And she said that, and then she said the Safari was telling the story of not knowing her energy and all this other BS. So anyway, Shardo chimes in and he says, well, it wasn't a fun party at all, and I just wanted to leave, quite frankly. And he says, turns to Chandrika and says he was sorry he didn't go outside to comfort her. And he said, I even said to Dom, you should have went outside to comfort your friend or whatever. So Dom kind of, Chandrika says she doesn't even know, no, Dom chimes in and says, you don't even know me like that to be commenting about me or saying anything. And she was like, you never said that to me. You didn't say that to me. And of course, bravo, messy ass cameras. They show right there where he did say to her, you don't think you should go outside and see what's wrong, or, comfort your friend or whatever. And Dom looked at him like, I know you fucking lying. I'm already in here, and basically F her. I am in the party. I'm having a good old time. Not my problem. You should have never came anyway. You should know that you weren't. You shouldn't be here. So I'm like, yeah, Dom, you kind of trifling for that. So anyway, Dom gets all upset and says, Brian, you're my friend. I don't know him. And, don't have me in no rooms with him no more. Like, I don't even want to be around him. And, you know what? I'm leaving. I don't have time for this. And she's saying this to Brian because it's his house. And Brian was like, well, bitch, I don't know what the fuck you want me to do, because if you arguing with somebody, I'm not going to jump in it. It's not my business. It's not my bag to hold. I'm not doing any of that. So if you want to argue with somebody, you go ahead and yippity skippity at the gums by yourself. I'm not getting involved. And you know what? If I was him, I wouldn't get involved either, because for what? Y'all arguing over some dumb shit, period, in the first place. Okay. So moving right along, Kandi ends up meeting with I think I had skipped over that whole part. Kandi ends up meeting with Safari, and Todd ends up meeting with Patrick. So they end up talking, and all in all, Kandi didn't really like how Safari called Patrick a trick, because Kandi looks at Patrick and Melvin as her own sons. Like, she feels like, they really were her first children, and she really loves them and has a vested interest in their lives or whatever. So, she just kind of wants to, she sees that Patrick is just like all over this girl, and she just wants to make sure that Safari is not in it trying to be some type of gold digger or a user or whatever. So she was like, Patrick says all these amazing things about you, but then you end up calling him a trick. Like, how do you feel about him? And so Safari ends up saying that she really is in love with Patrick, and the reason why she loves him is because he's very genuine. She's never had anybody take up for her, value her feelings, and listen to her as much as Patrick does. So I thought that was interesting, that she felt like that, because I would never have gotten that from her, from the way she acts and being all stank. So both of them having like a teary-eyed moment and whatnot. So Todd and Patrick are talking, and Patrick says he thinks he wants to go ahead and pop the question. And Todd was like, I don't know. She gave me some red flags the other night. And, Patrick basically makes excuses for her and says, well, you guys have to get to know her more. You have to be around her to understand her. But, she really is a good person. She got my back and all this, that, and the third. D Movie Man says when Dom was on Kandi Speak On It, she basically said she didn't go outside because she didn't give a fuck. I thought that was foul and unnecessary. I'm seeing a not so great side of Dom now. Yeah, absolutely. I feel the same way, because like clearly you didn't give a fuck, because that's your friend. Like, if I come here with you, I'm gonna leave with you. Now I'm gonna cuss your ass out on the way, because I'm gonna be like, girl, now you knew damn well you shouldn't have been at this party. I'm gonna leave with your stupid ass because we friends. But next time, girl, I ain't even coming, because you knew you shouldn't have been here. Oh, you know what? You'll stay home and I'll go to the party. That's what I'm going to do, because you fucking tried it. That's what you did. Okay. But yeah, I think that was really, really messed up. Dom was more about trying to have a good old time and getting hickied and kissed up on by Brandon in front of her damn bosses that they just now said that they wasn't messing around to. Stupid. So moving right along. In the next scene, so Dom and Chandrika, so in the same scene, Dom and Chandrika end up leaving the house because they're both pissed. Chandrika feels like everybody should have kissed her ass and left, and Dom is just going off about nothing with Shardo. Like, I just feel like she got extra mad at Shardo for no reason. Like, all that energy that you gave him was really unnecessary. Okay. Thank you to everyone that is watching the video now. Please, please, please like, comment, and be sure to hit that subscribe button before we end this video. Okay, thank you so much. I appreciate your support. So in the next scene, the OLGs, Kandi and Winnie, meet at Mama Joyce's house, because Patrick wants them all to meet with him, because he wants their opinion on if he should marry Safari. So they're all talking, and his own grandmother calls this boy a daggone hoe. I'm like, oh my gosh. Then Kandi even brings up, she's like, well, are you really ready for marriage? Because you said, so you broke off the engagement with the last girl, because I do remember seeing Kandi putting pictures on her Instagram of her nephew that was getting married, and I knew that he must have been very close to her, because I think this had to have been like at least 2 years ago. He was engaged already to somebody else. So Kandi brought up, she was like, well, are you going to stay engaged this time? And so he said, basically he had some learning to do from that last relationship, because he ended the relationship because she left, and he has abandonment issues, which makes me wonder, like, where is his father? We see where he's going to go have a conversation in the next episode with Safari's dad, but where is his father? So maybe that may be the abandonment issues that he was saying that he had. So anyway, moving right along, he feels like this is the one. His mom says that she likes her. Kandi says that she likes Safari. So, they're going to move forward, and he bought a ring already. So he wants to, in the next episode, he's going to ask her dad for her hand in marriage and, get his blessing first. So we'll see how this goes. We also see in the next episode how Dom and Brandon are going to have to make a choice as to who's going where, because both of them can't stay there. But I see Dom in the confessional somehow, well, Brandon should leave because I've been here longer. Girl, he's the fucking manager. And by the way, you don't even want to be there anyway. You want to go pop, lock, and drop it on the damn Rick Ross tour. You don't want to be at OLG. This this is just something to pay your damn bills in between your dancing gigs. This girl is very angry and delusional. I don't know what's going on with her, but she need to get it together because I think she done danced her brain away. That's what she did. But anyway, y'all, we'll see what happens next week. I really did like Dom's character, but she's actually starting to get on my nerves and just seem very fake, and I just don't like it. So please thumbs up this video, like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Peace out.